Okay, guys, we got some major news here for you. On Russian state TV, which is basically pretty much controlled by the government, they're discussing a nuclear strike on the Yellowstone volcano in the United States. And I'll give you the details on that, and I'll let you hear it directly in this video. And Russian President Putin admits to losses on the battlefield, maybe the first time ever. I'll let you hear what he has to say. And, well, all this comes as the U.S. is holding a new, committee over China as well. And I'll give you the details of all that here in this video. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos because, kind of seems like a new Cold War is starting between us, China, Russia, and North Korea, doesn't it? Yeah, as I don't know, competition's kind of heating up with all these different countries, and Russia's literally talking about to their people about nuking us. Seems like every other week, which is not good. So let's jump right in. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos, because I just tell you the truth and I show it to you right here on the screen. Yeah, here we go. Okay, as you can see here, the U.S. House of Representatives just formed basically a China panel and just had its first hearing after lawmakers pushed 7 bills targeting Beijing. Yeah. So this pushes tensions between China and the U.S. even further, as if they weren't hot enough. Yeah, a newly formed House committee devoted to examining competition between the U.S. and China held its first hearing, capping off a day of maneuvers on Capitol Hill aimed at holding Beijing accountable for recent national security offenses. And holding China accountable is not going to be easy. The Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and the Chinese Communist Party was formed in January, shortly after Republicans took the majority in the House. And they're now renewing their focus after the U.S. shot down the Chinese surveillance balloon. The first one, China has admitted was theirs. Committee Chairman Representative Mike Gallagher said the hearing, at least the first one, will spotlight human rights, saying, quote, "We call this a strategic competition, but this is not a polite tennis match." Gallagher, who's a Republican from Wisconsin, said in his opening remark, "This is an existential struggle over what life will look like in the 21st century, and most fundamental freedoms are at stake." One of the things they're talking about is a potential ban to the TikTok app, which has billions of users across the world. Remember, the United States only has about 330 million people, just to give you an idea there. But it is known that data from that app is sent directly over to China because China has this kind of law that if owned by Chinese corporations, they have to send data over to the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. And this is one of the reasons why they just passed a law in the United States for lawmakers, senators, and House representatives that they cannot have TikTok on their personal or work devices. Yeah. They're also considering a ban for the entire United States on TikTok. And they're also considering giving the president of the United States, right now currently Biden or possibly future presidents, the ability to ban such apps. So just to give you guys an idea of what could be happening. Congress could also pass a ban as well in the interest of national security. Also, in the interest of national security, you can see the headlines here, and I'm going to show you the video here. You can see this is from Newsweek here. Russia State TV discusses nuclear strike on Yellowstone volcano. Here is the actual video. It's in Russian, but there is subtitles here, so take a look.
Всеракурсную систему ПРО создать невозможно, а это означает, что Соединенные Штаты Америки уязвимы. Это первый момент. А второй момент состоит в том, что Сармат создает угрозу самому страшному объекту на территории США – Йеллоустонскому вулкану. И тот факт, что наш президент сказал, что мы готовы начать испытания, и он подчеркнул, новых боеголовок, в случае, если американцы начнут испытания своих.
Now, I'll give you a little bit of context on this. In case that went by too quick, I'm going to also read this. And in case the video's not there, I may have had to remove it for whatever reason, copyright strike or for other reasons in case they don't want me to show it. But during a recent broadcast on Russian state TV, a pundit discussed the possibility of Russia using a nuclear strike Sarmat missile to strike a volcano in Yellowstone National Park, which experts say could erupt in the near future. Of course, we don't know exactly when. Russian President Vladimir Putin said during an address that his country will pay increased attention to strengthening its nuclear missiles based on land, sea, and in the air, according to Reuters here recently. He also reportedly said that RS-28 Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missiles would be deployed this year. Anton Gerashenko, an advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Internal Affairs, posted 2 videos on Twitter of Talking Heads host Vladimir Solovyov's Russia's One program discussing the Sarmat, a retired Russian naval officer who frequently speaks on military matters on Kremlin-operated outlets, spoke about what he called a special weapon. Sivkov said the powerful Sarmat missiles can deliver a, quote, large number of nuclear warheads to the target and has the capability of striking across the South Pole. They added that the U.S. is vulnerable to such a weapon, which he said poses a threat to the Yellowstone volcano. Yellowstone National Park lies in northwest corner of Wyoming and extends into Montana and Idaho. The largest body of water is in the park. Yellowstone Lake sits on the top of a Yellowstone caldera, the largest supervolcano in North America. During the appearance, they both talked about and spoke about the possibility of Russia's military trying to start an earthquake before shifting back to the talk of waking up volcanoes. He said Russia's powerful Belgorod submarine is currently in the Pacific Ocean and pointed out California's San Andreas and San Jacinto faults are located near the sea. And these faults, this is quotes here, if activated, they can trigger the activation of the entire arc of fire of the Pacific Ocean, Sivkov said, according to the translation, which includes these faults. Then comes the Yellowstone, then comes the Aleutian Grid volcanoes. First of all, these very rifts will blow. They will bring down the entire east coast of the United States. And then secondly, it could blow up this volcano. This volcano discussion initiated by Sivkov was not the first time he made this suggestion. In a 2015 article, he wrote for the Russian state media outlet, VPK News. This is for their actual state media. He said that Moscow could counter NATO by moving to the borders of Russia by dropping a nuclear weapon near Yellowstone's supervolcano or the San Andreas Fault. Yeah, so first of all, this is very disturbing to even think about this and to think about how Russia allows this kind of talk on their state media TV sites that gets broadcast to millions of people, and the rest of the world is seeing it because we're able to see it here in the United States, and other states are seeing it too. So they're threatening the US with nuclear weapons, and they've also done this to the United Kingdom and to other countries as well. So just think about the message that Russia's sending. Now the problem is we can't just send a nuke over there, because we send one nuke over there, they're just going to send them back over here, and a nuclear war starts, and that's the last thing we want to do. So again, they've talked about this before, so we hope that it's just talk, because a nuclear exchange or nuclear war could be the end of humanity. So we don't want this to happen. Hopefully they're just going to keep talking, and that's all they're doing is, just this. But this is what they're talking about. Also, interestingly, is Vladimir Putin just admitted to the world that they are taking losses on the battlefield. And this comes as Ukraine potentially sent drones deep inside of Russia, attack drones. And well, Ukraine's not claiming that it was them, but I mean, who else would be sending them? And this is very kind of scary, because remember, Putin said that if Russia's attacked on their homeland, that they could defend it with any means necessary. And now there is attacks happening in Russia. Yeah, so take a look.
We turn now to the war in Ukraine and to Russia, and tonight drones hitting deep inside Russia, one not far from Moscow. Russia saying those drones were sent by Ukraine, targeting oil and gas facilities. And Vladimir Putin ordering tighter controls at the border, acknowledging in public, quote, there have been losses on the battlefield. ABC's James Longman in Ukraine tonight.
Tonight, a series of mysterious drone strikes inside Russia, according to the Kremlin. Videos circulating online show an explosion at an oil depot, smoke billowing into the sky. Another drone believed to be targeting a gas facility striking deep inside Russia. It came within just 60 miles of Moscow. The Kremlin blaming Ukraine, but so far no claim of responsibility. Vladimir Putin today ordering his Federal Security Service, the FSB, to take over border security. And he even made a rare admission, saying there have been losses in our ranks. Many of those losses are in eastern Ukraine, in Bakhmut. Desperate for a win after more than a year of war, Moscow is sending in fighter jets, battering endless buildings with artillery and losing countless lives, all to take now ruined Bakhmut. Those determined to stay, trying to survive with the relentless sound of gunfire and explosions. Buildings burning, but no one is coming to help here. But Ukraine's spirit of survival unbroken. Today, Ukraine announcing additional units are on their way to Bakhmut. The soldier saying, though the city is on fire, Ukraine will live.
And so let's bring in James Longman live from Kyiv tonight. And James, of course, the other development we're also watching involves Belarus. Wanted to show everyone at home the map tonight. Belarus, of course, bordering Ukraine and Russia. The president of Belarus with close ties to Vladimir Putin. Tonight, that president is in China for meetings.
Yeah, President Lukashenko is Vladimir Putin's closest ally, and his presence in Beijing tonight is only going to add to the concern that Western officials have that China may seek to arm Russia. If that happens, it adds a new, dangerous global dimension to this war.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here, and let me know how you think this war ends, or when it will. So thank you so much for liking these videos if you appreciate them. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's some videos you can watch next. You can click here to see some big news that just happened for Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, and SSI. Or you can click here to see some new details on the origins of the virus. Yeah. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.